Hey, good morning. All right, so today's video, I am going to, instead of talking about stories, backgrounds, perceptions, all that kind of stuff, what I'm going to do today is just talk about where I'm at and what I plan on doing. From listening to a bunch of more Alex Ramosi, uh, it's all about the effort instead of talking about the effort. So, in an effort to do that, I'm just going to talk about what my actual goals are, what my actual actions are going to be to get me to there. So, this week, my goal is to get a couple more spots filled on my card, as many as possible. I guess I should have a more concrete goal, but let's say I want to fill half a side. And I've been doing some work leading up to this point in kind of bits and drags. I've been doing cold walk-ins to basically all the places in South Miami that are adjacent to where I work, which has worked out in certain ways. I've gotten to kind of get over that hump of talking to people. I've also cold called a lot of businesses that I found online, and I've gotten some spots filled from that, some spots filled from just walking into places. But because of the delay that it's taken me in getting spots filled, because I only have so many hours a day to actually do the outreach, the dry cleaning business that was going to take a spot, he had said his deadline was about mid-April to get the card out, because otherwise people go out for vacation and everything. Summer is a slow time anyways, so he didn't have very much interest past mid-April, and now we're already near the end of April. So, assuming I'm not going to be able to end up selling his spot, there was another restaurant that was going to take a double spot that was ready to go. It was going to actually only be half price in actual payment, and then like the rest in gift certificates towards eating there, which is great because it's a great restaurant. I would really enjoy taking my family out there. We would definitely spend the money. But as things have progressed, it's taken a long time. The fire got cold, and so now they have a new marketing company that they're doing other projects with. So that interest has died out, and I asked him like, "Hey, are we still going to do the spot?" And he said, "No, I think we're going to hold off on that." But on the caveat, I did sell him our review cards that he's been putting into practice at his restaurant, and already got like a 10% increase in reviews over just like 1 day period that he actually used it so far. So that business relationship is actually doing well. By me approaching them in the first place to show them that card, it actually introduced the ability to sell other services. Given that, it's also showed me that selling the review cards is one, probably a lower barrier, because everybody wants reviews. Not everybody cares about getting seen in people's mailboxes. The price point is a little bit easier for people to swallow, because I can do the review cards on like an annual contract at basically the same price that I would have done a single ad spot in the postcard. And also the cost to fulfill for me is basically nothing at this point, because I already made the investment in the cards, and I already made the investment in the software and everything that goes into it. So anything that comes back is much lower margin percentage wise of what I have going into it. So that has taught me that maybe I should pivot more towards that. And as a result of that, I start seeing more review card type things advertised on Facebook. So as I'm scrolling, I'm seeing all these different ads for lots of different companies that sell these things, just kind of in bulk, direct to consumer, and seeing all the comments on them saying great things about how it improved their business. And that just tells me even more, this is something that I could easily do, especially in the local market, because I am local. My company is called Dade Local. It's all about local marketing. So I see the ability to kind of shift my marketing towards fulfilling that need. And I think that'll be a good project for me to do. But I also, in the meantime, while this is happening, I went on Fiverr because I was looking for more leads. I have Leads Gorilla, that app, and I've been pulling lists out of there for all the different categories that I want to sell spaces on the card for. But when I actually sat down and did the calculation one day at lunch and looked at my list of like 20 businesses and how many I actually got through in that time, I think I went through about 13 businesses in total. By the time it takes me to walk to a place where I can kind of set up and start calling, and then actually go through and dial and talk and then take notes and then do follow-up, I only get through less than 20 calls in that whole time. Plus, I should be eating, I should be taking better care of myself, which I haven't been because I've been walking around businesses and trying to sell them these things. So in an effort to kind of take a step back, but also approach the work more efficiently, I went on Fiverr. I was looking to get like a list of like 1,000 local businesses in the different categories, sent the list to an outsourcer over there, and came back with like 4,500 contacts. I cleaned the list down to about 3,000 or so, like 3,500. And so then I bought that list off of him. So now I have, it's not the best list. It doesn't have first name, last name, but it does have business names, business emails, and phones. And they are pretty clean from what I saw when I was just like kind of Googling them to see how it is. The other thing that's missing from this list is I don't know like their business star rating, all that kind of stuff, which that might be another list that I buy later on if I'm going to be doing the review thing to kind of build that into my outreach. But now that I have this list of like 3,000 emails, I have a script that I had bought months back when I was first starting on this journey, all about cold email and programmatic email, sending out, to a list with like certain fill words, like so it's personalized by the person that I'm sending it to. And so this week's effort, instead of walking around and talking to businesses and getting either stared at or said, no, we actually have our own company, because a lot of the businesses that I've walked into, at first, one, it's hard to get in front of the business owner. They're not usually there. The ones that I actually did talk to a business owner, those were the most interested companies. It's just so infrequent that the owners are actually there. A lot of the places, especially next to my work, are chains. They're managed nationally, and so or they have their own marketing companies already kind of set up. So being able to get in front of really the businesses that are more likely to need this kind of marketing are less of the brick and mortars and more of the home services, lawyers, all that kind of stuff that I'm not going to be able to walk into anyways on my lunch break. So I'm shifting my focus of my efforts to cold email and going to push on that for a couple weeks, set up all the systems. That's what I'm going to be doing today. That'll be my lunch break today. Got my laptop. I'll fire off some test emails, make sure all the scripts work, load everything up into the system, and just click send and see what happens. Over this time, another podcast has come out with Kevin Dyke on the High Response Marketing Podcast with Jake, Lorraine, Bob Ross, and he sold some of his scripts and how he was able to sell out his card. He's probably been working on filling his card less time than me, since I really started probably around January. and we're already at the end of April. So basically it's been 4 months, and I have about 3 spots maybe sold. I have a plumber, a dry cleaning company, and an HVAC. The HVAC, that was probably early January, mid-January that I sold that spot. The dry cleaning guy, that was like in February that I sold him. And then the plumbing company was probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I haven't been able to deliver on the promises that I made to them. At this point, I haven't collected any money from anybody because I wanted to get the card more filled before I proceeded. And also, I have another company, a real estate company that took 2 spots. I'm just waiting to get the ad artwork back from him, and that's going to be full payment. So instead of the restaurant that was going to give me like half and half, I have 1 full payment from him. If I can get the dry cleaning guy to stay on, even though it's past his season a little bit, then that could give me a full spot. And then the HVAC company, I know it's been a while that I haven't reached out to and followed up with him, but once I get a few more spots and I actually have some hard date to give him, then I want to get that out there and iron those out. So because I got these extra scripts from Kevin and the program from Monica to kind of put into place, I'm going to actually put in the time and effort now to build out that email outreach system and see what that does and see how that works out. So that's my plan. That's going to be my efforts for this week. I'll be checking in as it goes to hold myself accountable. So this channel now is looking more like a way to have me give myself advice on what to do, and then give me more incentives to stick to it, because I want to come back in the future videos and say what actually happened from it. Maybe if I started this earlier, maybe I'd be further along my goals, maybe not. But at this point, I'm just laying out the steps I need to do and then doing them so that I can get the eventual goal. But really, it's about the effort and making the steps that I know need to be made, because the work needs to be done. So I'm going to do it. And then I'll check in and tell you how it went as I go along. So that'll be it for today. That's my plan. I'm going to be sitting down this week at lunch, especially starting today, so that way I have something to talk about tomorrow about how that played out, how everything looks, and start sending things out, and then see what I get back. Half the cold outreach stuff is also based on Facebook and reaching out to businesses directly on there that you see advertising. And so I'm going to try to be more mindful of that. I just barely ever go on Facebook as a consumer anyways, so much of the stuff is just kind of filtered through that lens, and so I don't see a lot of local business on there, so I just have to make the effort, join a couple local groups, local small business groups, which I'm on, but so many of them are just spammy, and they're not necessarily looking to actually make an effort in their basically they're not looking to spend money on marketing, because if they were, they'd be not posting in the free groups, they'd be running ads. So really I have to find the companies that are already advertising on Facebook, and their algorithm just isn't showing that to me because I'm not generally a consumer of Facebook ads. I'm getting a lot of these review card ads now because I clicked on some and I saw some, and then I went to the landing pages, so now my pixel is everywhere, and so everybody's trying to sell me 20 different cards, which is great because I'm screenshotting every one of them to make my own ads, selling my own review cards, but focused locally with local customers, and I'll have like my own testimonials from local businesses that will be able to speak directly to the locals that might have less affinity for ordering things online or not trusting the process. So I'll be able to kind of build off some of that relationship. So that's my plan for the week. Now I'm facing the sun again, so I'm gonna focus on staying on the road, getting to work, and then getting to work at lunch on this hustle. So until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.